All right. Went back on. I should have had this up and going. Dun, 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 dun. Of course, I never do. But that's okay. Let's go. Boom. Because we all know it takes a couple of seconds. Plus, now that I'm recording my audio, it's a little bit more different as well. If everything would just learn to load properly, but it never does. Well, that's okay. We'll be ready to go here in about 30 seconds. 30 seconds or so. See how many people we got going on here. And, yeah. All right. Now I just gotta share. Oh, there we go. I can just go here. Or not. Everything's so fucking slow. I hate it when everything's so slow. So what happens when I get no cable and I just go to internet, and my internet is a little different but the same. I will share that. What do you mean? I don't want to be boost. I want to share. Come on. There we go. Yeah. I'm aware. There we go. Episode number 5. Alrighty. Jesus, Murphy. Modern day technology, you think you'd be a lot faster, especially in these days. Good afternoon. Afternoon, everybody. It is, I don't even know what day it is. Wow, I should really have put the actual dates down. I think it's Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday, April 11th, 2020. And I'm a little baked because every day is 420 now for the next that many days. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to North Sports. We don't have much to talk about, obviously, in the last little while, but we are here to give you some news, some updates and shit like that that's been going on. But first, obviously, if you can, follow me on Twitter. If you see this up on my normal page, follow North Sports, and you can get all the latest updates and stuff like that. Ooh, COVID. No, I'm just kidding. Bad joke. I get it. So yes, follow me on Twitter at Andrew Faubert, at Andrew_Faubert. And you also check out for North Sports. Remember to share for your chance to win podcast stuff. All those cards, I don't have them on me right now. They're currently in the basement where everybody is kind of sleeping. So I decided to go upstairs where I can kind of hang out and be a little bit louder so I can talk to you, the fans of the North Sports. Also, remember to stay safe and distant and keep your social distancing going on. It's not easy in this household because all I do is I go to work for 4 days and then I come home for 4 days and I hang out with the babies and stuff like that. And it's really hard to keep the babies in the house, but it is what it is. We got to do what we got to do. So remember to stay safe, everybody, and distant. So let's get started. There's really only a couple of things to get into. First off, I already, took most of your time here. So we got new Bucs jerseys, ladies and gentlemen. We got hold on. We got Browns new jerseys coming. Falcons jerseys sucked. They had new ones. The Jets will probably get new ones again. Let's just be completely honest. And there's a couple other teams I think they were getting like new retros, but it doesn't matter. The Buccaneers new jerseys are the shit. They are lit. Oh, very happy. Very, 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 very happy. I was a little skeptical when I first heard it. They were like, we're going to change the jerseys. And I'm like, I don't trust ownership sometimes. I mean, as a Buccaneers fan, I just know you don't trust ownership. And I saw some of the leaks that were coming out, and I was like, I don't know how I feel or what I'm going to feel. And turns out, pretty fucking dope. It's basically the Super Bowl era jerseys, just a little bit more done up. Damn, there goes my pen. I don't even fucking need it. I'm really bad for that. People at work know that too. There should be another one around. Oh well. They're awesome looking. Okay. They are the Super Bowl eras, but with a little bit more brighter colors. That alarm clock number is fucking gone. Thank God. And it's nice. That pewter though. that pewter. I personally, when I saw the Buccaneers on Twitter were doing their own little like wallpapers, and they were like, you got 30 minutes. If you add us your name and a number and one of the three colors, whether it's pewter, red, or white, we'll make one for you. So I was like, 77 faux bear pewter, let's go. That's my wallpaper now. Love it. I will probably get a custom jersey like that just because of how sick they are. If people are like, what is pewter? That's that black jersey, I guess you would say, that we got. And we have never really had a cool Thursday night jersey or just a really retro-ish jersey at all. We've always kind of had this really shitty looking everything. They took the alarm clock for the Thursday night games and basically just threw that number on there as big as they can and then just all red. It was gross. Hated every aspect of that one. Back in the day when the team first started in 74, we had the creamsicle jerseys. Now, obviously, when you go, 0-16, 1-15, and all that kind of crap, and the losing years and stuff like that, a lot of people are going to get some bad taste in their mouths for the creamsicle. It's 2020. It's been over 50 years now, and you got a younger generation like me being like, what would a kind of updated creamsicle jersey be? And we've been teased about that for a little bit. And we thought we were going to get it for this one. And instead, we got a pewter one. Not mad. I think the pewter one is sexy as all hell. But I can tell you right now, that creamsicle, when it comes out, and I do mean when it comes out, because it will be available soon. And they said 2020. So obviously, when the next season goes in, we can't have them now. There was some sort of agreement or contract negotiations. There's something fucking weird that says you cannot have the creamsicle jerseys in your normal rotation until 2020. I guess a lot of like old school Buccaneer fans were okay with that, but a lot of new school ones, and even people who are not Buccaneer fans are like, I kind of want to bring them back for like a year or two, and a lot of people would probably just buy them. If you brought back the old school Dolphins, you got me. Okay, you bring back the old school. Patriots jerseys. Those things were sick. There's a few other ones. Go bring me back like a nice classic Packers one. Okay, give me an old school Chargers with Chargers with the light blue. Same with the Houston Oilers. You give me those. They're just classic jerseys. Doesn't matter if you like the team or not. They're just really pretty jerseys. And I think we all can kind of agree on that. Same thing with NHL. When it comes to hockey, if you know me very well, there's 4 teams that I absolutely hate, and in order, and I quote, Boston Bruins number 1, Pittsburgh Penguins number 2, Anaheim Ducks number 3, and Chicago Blackhawks number 4. The Ducks, though, have, in my opinion, one of the best jerseys of all time. When they count down on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, they count down all these jerseys all the time. And the final 4, the final 3 of jerseys for like throwbacks that are in there every single time are the Anaheim Ducks, like the mighty Ducks of Anaheim, whatever you want to call them. That's number 1. The old school Phoenix Coyotes jersey with the beat up coyote on it, that's number 2. And the old Quebec Nordiques jersey, that's number 3. Whereas arguable number 4 is that old Islanders logo from when they were winning the Stanley Cup. That's your number 4. I hate the Ducks. I would get a fucking Ducks jersey. Those things are pretty. Hells yeah. Okay? That's just inevitable. Some other quick pointers here as I reach for this pen. Oh, it's not going to work. Oh, it's not. There we go. I'm going to ruin everything. No, I got it. There we go. Bah, 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 bah. The couple other pointers here I got to these jerseys. 1, obviously, they're very pretty. Number 2, Brady is now the number 1 selling athlete in all sports. Wrap your head around that for a second. Out of all the teams he could have gone to, he went to the Bucs. Out of all the numbers that could have been given to him, number 12. Someone was already taking number 12. They had a great year. They could have been a little dick if they wanted to about it, but no, they were like, you're Tom fucking Brady. You're coming here to play with the Buccaneers. I'm going to give up my number for you. That is now the number 1 selling jersey, ladies and gentlemen. The Bucs are the top selling team. What? If you would have told me at the beginning of last season that a superstar, I'll admit, I've never talked down about Brady in this house, okay? Never talked down about Brady in this house. There's never been an ill word spoken of Tom Brady in my household or in my life whatsoever. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But if you would have told me at the beginning of last season that a superstar caliber quarterback would have hit the free agency market, decided to choose the Buccaneers, and for some odd reason, they're going to be the top selling jersey. And on top of that, they are going to make the Buccaneers like the top selling team out of the Patriots, out of the Cowboys, out of the Ravens right now with Lamar Jackson, out of the Chiefs because they just won the fucking Super Bowl. The Bucs are your number 1 selling team. Whether or not, before I get into anything else too crazy here, Brady's merchandise has spiked 3,000% after the uniform reveal, by the way. A lot of people were very hesitant to buy anything with Brady on it, which I don't think you could get anything with Brady on it from the other crappy jerseys anyway. But I almost lost my train of thought. The Brady merge and stuff like that. With the ownership here, this is the best decision that ownership has ever made. Whether or not this works, whether or not we even have a season, which I'll get to in a bit, but whether or not Brady plays, whether or not he plays good. So let's just assume there's a season, okay? Let's say Brady plays and the Buccaneers don't make the playoffs from this point on and a few weeks ago, all the way until week 5, week 6, week 7, if in this theory he doesn't do very good, is when he starts falling off. Sold out home games, sold out road games, sold out merchandise. The Buccaneers the ownership is generating revenue, which is something that has not been done in too many fucking years. And I can't necessarily hate on them for it. You can't. It's a smart move. If you knew that you could take the chance to possibly win, which I do think the Buccaneers are going to make the playoffs. Do I think they're going to win the Super Bowl? It's really hard to say right now. We need an offensive tackle in the draft. Or if they decide to do my little fantasy and stuff like that, which is, bite the bullet and start trading some fucking picks to go get some fucking players and stuff like that, they might actually. A couple of those young guys and shit like that on offense would be really good for the Buccaneers. This team right now is a playoff caliber team. Only because Tom Brady can throw another 4,000 yards, 25 picks here and there, or 25 touchdowns here and there. Hell, even if he does 15 picks, it's still 15 less than what Winston did. And that's all we need. Oh, my dogs are going a little crazy. Bear with me on that. Bear with them on that. Frodo, that's enough. This team is a caliber team to go to the playoffs. Not only is this team caliber to go to the playoffs, this team could actually do some damage in the playoffs if they're in a proper seeding against a proper team. Our defense is just a defense that would need a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. They're not going to be able to deal with running teams in the playoffs. They're going to deal with passing teams. And unless the corners actually do what they were doing at the last tail end of the season last year, it could get messy. But they'll be in the playoffs. It's something like a fan of me, like me, would be willing to accept. I think other fans would be willing to accept the Buccaneers just back in the playoffs. We would be a contender again. Once you're in the playoffs, anything goes. Look at how far the Titans went last year. The Jags went 2 or 3 years ago. You know, the Jets all those years ago went almost to the Super Bowl twice with Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez. Remember that. There's always a chance. Okay? A couple other quick notes that I have here for you, ladies and gentlemen. The Houston trade. They traded DeAndre Hopkins, and we criticized the shit out of Bill O'Brien for that. They brought in Brandon Cooks from the Rams for a second rounder. Second and a fourth is what they traded for. Yeah, second and a fourth. So now the receiving core actually doesn't look that bad. If Fuller stays healthy, it's a pretty damn good trade. If Cook stays healthy, it's a pretty damn good trade. You've broken a lot of relationships in Houston, though. That's the only problem. It's not really the only thing that's broken in sports-wise in Houston. That's a shot at the Astros. The Astros should be fucking happy right now. There's no season going on. Holy shit. They're probably like, oh man, thank God for this Corona COVID shit so that nobody remembers what the fuck we did. This podcast is going to make sure people remember Mr. Astros. We don't let you get away with that shit. That's for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, UFC also got canceled. Dana White seemed pretty adamant that he was going to start some Mortal Kombat shit. He was going to get an island and have all the fighters go to the island. And it seems like the rules were in place that he probably could at the time. And, you know, with the rules that were in place at the time. But then every single day, there's new updates that happen. And you probably got updated and told, like, yeah, dude, you're not having this. It's not going down here, bud. You're not. Nope. This COVID doesn't just make, like, Baracus and all that kind of stuff. You're not starting this fight. And he's like, no, it's actual titles and shit. No, still canceled. Can't happen. Quick moment of silence. Just do 10 seconds, I guess, for Kobe Cave of the Oilers. He passed away at the age of 25 from a brain bleed. It was actually quite sad to hear about that, especially in the off season. I haven't actually heard too much about him as a player, but nonetheless, he was still an NHL player, and we still wish him and his family the best, especially in this trying times and in this pandemic. The baseball, though, has proposed a grapefruit and cactus type leagues that would take place at 2 different locations so that they could actually start their baseball season. Like a lot of people, I think that we can all agree, and we want to see sports happen right now. I want to see sports happen. I started this podcast thinking that we were going to have one of the greatest off seasons in NFL, one of the greatest start of the seasons for MLB with the Astros cheating scandal, and then with all the Red Sox stuff and the Yankees stuff, and all these other teams that we were going to start seeing get caught for the cheating. The really cool unveiling of the Raiders Stadium in NFL, the Los Angeles stadiums. NHL season after this was all said and done. I mean, I still think that the Capitals were going to get it, to be honest with you. Another random one as well. I do think the Leafs could have made a random run at it. Do I think they would have won? No, I think someone out of the West would have won if the Leafs got there. It's a whole different story. Don't get mad at me. I'm an analytics guy. It's not like my fucking Red Wings were going to make it, okay? The only thing we are going to win is the draft lottery, and then we're probably not going to win that either. It's probably going to go to Ottawa. So fuck off. And then the NBA. Was LeBron James actually going to take the Lakers to the promised land? I still think it would have been really cool. Game 7 between them and the Clippers. And then I still hold true. And Travis, a buddy of mine, Travis, I know that you're probably not going to watch this because you only got Instagram and stuff like that. But I still hold true that, yeah, the 76ers would have been okay. Yeah, the Raptors would have been okay. I still think it would have been the Celtics versus the Bucs, with the Bucs losing to the Celtics, and it would have been the Celtics versus the Clippers, and the Clippers taking it in 6 games at home at the Staples Center with new fans. That was my theory on that. But we're not going to know, probably, because nobody will stay the fuck home. I hate to say it, guys. If y'all would have just listened, literally the day of my son's birth on March 10th is the day that we had major issues. That was when the major call kind of happened around the world with COVID and stuff and shit like that. So y'all fucked up. Y'all fucked up. If you stayed home, props to you. But if you didn't, you fucked up. You fucked up. It's a fucked up. You fucked up. It's as simple as that. The NFL is now going to do a virtual draft. This is going to be fun, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be able to watch live some crazy way that the NFL is going to put on this draft for people to actually watch. I don't even have any sports stuff bought. It's saving me hundreds of dollars a month, every couple of months, not having sports because there's no fucking sports on. So why would I have the sports channels? And you can't just, cancel them on cable. So you just cancel all your cable and you start going to streaming, which, by the way, guys, streaming is the way to go. Get off your cable. Just buy internet. Get really fast internet. Start buying your streaming services. There's free channels out there. As simple as that. The problem with the virtual draft, though, a lot of people are laughing at this. This could get out of hand really quick. It could get hacked. Or there's some people that can do some stuff on this live aspect of it. It could get bad. It could get really bad. I'm just saying. We've seen before of the Laramie Tunsil. They had the gas mask of smoking weed that got shown up on the draft nights and stuff like that. They could have videos and pictures of, say, somebody that gets drafted, of abuse, of both a person and narcotics, lewd pictures, videos, like all that kind of stuff can happen every single time somebody gets drafted. It's kind of inevitable here at this point. And teams, like, I totally understand teams being very concerned about this. I'm kind of concerned about it as well. But it's going to happen. And if you're the Patriots, if you're not doing your job as the Patriots to either be on the side of cheating or not cheating, if you're not cheating as the Patriots, for example, or doing your best to put up a fucking firewall, everybody's coming after you. Or the Bengals with the first overall pick, or the Dolphins because they're expecting them to go to get Tua and stuff like that. There's a lot of different angles that these people can go and literally hack the NFL draft. And then especially if they got to do this for the NHL, the NBA, the MLB, MLS, all these, the top three being the NFL and then the NHL and then the NBA. These drafts get hacked. What happens then? You can't control the content on something that gets hacked. So, little complicated there. Not exactly sure what they're going to do. It would be very interesting to see, especially if something does happen. Someone does get hacked. Oh, I will record. I will make sure that I can get as much content as I can because I don't think anyone's going to have copyright on that streaming service. It's going to be weird. And it's only a couple weeks away. We're only 2 weeks away from the draft. So they got 2 weeks to figure this all out. This is going to be amazing. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to get into my big theory. Quickly going into the comments here. I want to see if there's actually is any comments. Oh, Jared was there from the beginning. I appreciate you, Jared. Yeah, I was trying. I'm sorry. My computer was very slow. I should have had it loaded up. How do I feel about Fight Island? If you heard about that already. Mr. Brewer, I appreciate you as too. Yeah, my dog's name is Frodo. All right, guys. Here is the sad part and the sad reality of what this is what could possibly happen. Okay. We, with this COVID-19, have a risky business ahead of us. Owners will want money. And if a team can't generate money, what is the owner going to do? They're going to sell the team. Or they'll declare bankruptcy. They'll do whatever it takes. And that's where this theory / kind of reality may come into place that I will share. We may lose teams because of COVID. We have seen leagues talk about expanding into 30 or 32 teams, 34 teams even. bringing back certain teams, relocations, teams actually about to come into certain leagues. But are they now? So let's take a look at some of the actual details that would go into something like this happening. First of all, owners do not cover bills for teams with no fans. We've seen ownership sell teams or make drastic decisions and stuff like that. I did it again. Did it again. And I hit it before. There we go. We've seen teams make drastic decisions off of the no revenue coming in. If your team does not make money, the owners don't like owning that team, or they'll bring in GMs that will make stupid decisions. So if you were a team that was already built to basically go on a 3 to 5 year waiting period where you will start winning the cup or start being a contender again, where you can start making revenue and having all your fans come in and this, that, and everything else, such as Detroit. But if you're not Detroit, like the Red Wings, for example, you run the risk of having to get a GM that'll just invest in somebody now. So teams that'll go out and trade all your prospects and stuff like that for 2 to 3 players that they're like, we're going to need them to win now. It's not always the case that needs to be done, as we've seen it happen before. But now we do run the risk of losing some of these teams because they're not set up. And it is sad. Sponsorships won't give them money. Think of all the logos and restaurants and food venues and drinks and everything like that go into a stadium, to a hockey rink, to an NFL venue, a baseball arena, to a basketball court. Basketball courts and hockey courts sharing the same arena because it saves money. Those type of teams may stay. Those type of teams may be able to keep their franchises because they live in such big communities where those type of fans will continuously go. But there's other cities and other hubs, I guess you would say, that are not going to be built for this, especially after the economy shuts down. We've seen it happen already. Let's say sports was available right now. Let's say there was an Oilers versus Flames game available right now, and nobody has tickets. Nobody has tickets. Then they start letting tickets go out there. How many people are going to buy those tickets? It's going to look as if the Oilers and the Flames are bottom feeders in the league. That's not how you generate money. Even if both teams are doing really good, that's not how you generate money. Other teams give out tickets. You're not going to be able to do that anymore. You're basically giving out money. Owners and billionaires and millionaires don't like handing out money. And we've kind of seen this in the COVID. There's certain owners that do, and they kind of own teams in retrospect that would actually survive this. So like Ballmer with the Clippers. He's not going to sell his team. He's going to give back to LA. Of course he's going to give back to LA. Are the Lakers owners? They're giving back to their players. There's a difference there. It's the different type of owners. Young versus old. The older type of owners of these franchises want to keep their teams and keep the money that's coming in. But all of a sudden, when you don't have the money coming in, do you think that the owners are going to keep those teams? So to give you an idea, there's a list here of teams that we need to go over that are really in trouble of being gone. And I do mean this. If you really think about how many people in certain states and provinces and different economies that are going on around those towns and stuff like that, think of the things that have to be, or think about what that city generates. What does that city generate in order to make money? If that's gone, that big hub of people who are fans of that sporting franchise are not going to be able to spend that money to go see that sporting franchise at that price. And owners are not going to make $50 tickets for box seats or for right at ice level or right at center field. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. So really think about this as well. Here are the teams that look to be gone, basically. If all this continues on for another 6 months even, because they're not going to be able to restart a season, especially when some of these bottom feeders that we're going to talk about, and I apologize to some of these teams, but kind of bottom feeders, these bottom feeders are going to be gone. You got, the Columbus Blue Jackets, your Tampa Bay Rays in baseball, your Charlotte Hornets in basketball. The legacy around them is not going to save them alone. The colors of their jerseys, as much as I love them and everybody loves them, it's not going to save them alone, especially when they haven't won. There's no fans around there because there's been no culture around there. One that might surprise a few people right now is the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee is not a sports city. So Milwaukee Bucks, Milwaukee Brewers, Buffalo Bills, your franchise, it's not going to save you. The Arizona Coyotes, for sure, be gone. Florida Panthers. Do you really think there's a fan base around those teams? Not really. Oakland Athletics, there's a legacy around there, but it's not going to keep your team afloat. Jacksonville Jaguars, for sure. Your Calgary Flames, Edmonton Oilers, the Atlanta Hawks, Miami Marlins, Cincinnati Bengals, Ottawa Senators for sure. Your Carolina Hurricanes would be gone. Cincinnati Reds, your Minnesota Timberwolves would be gone. The other big one too is your Cleveland Browns. And before this whole thing happened with, excuse me, before this whole thing happened with Tampa Bay, or before this whole Tom Brady thing happened with Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers could have been a team that's gone. That's the complete truth. Buccaneers could have easily been a team that was on the chopping block. Not winning anything. All those teams that I just named right now, which I'll make a list and put it up on Facebook later on here. Those are the teams that are going to be they're going to have to sell, and there's probably not going to be any owners that are going to come in right away, especially with the economy, especially not knowing if there's going to be fans for how long, especially if we don't know if people are going to be able to sit right beside each other for these games anymore. We don't know if the capacity for these games is going to go down. We do not know anymore. And people may not be willing to take that risk. On the flip side of it, people might be. Because after this, if they decide to go a route where it's all televised and stuff like that, maybe everybody gets, this little box at home, and if you're watching sports, they listen to how loud you're screaming and yelling, and they increase that in the stands, and they do virtual reality. Maybe they start doing stuff like that. Who knows? But I can tell you right now, I don't see that happening. I really don't. In my notes here, I got second waves of teams. It's really just simple. All those teams that I thought are bottom dwellers, okay? If you really think about it, if it came down to the second wave of teams being gone, then we know that this has become a lot worse than it really needs to be. Only because of certain rules and stuff like that that'll come into play. And I don't think it'll ever get to this, but I think the only cities that would be able to sustain any type of teams, or for any type of leagues, would be, for Canada, would just be maybe 3, 2 for sure with Vancouver and Toronto, but maybe Montreal. I could see Montreal trying very hard, just because they're not going to lose the Canadians. In the States, really Los Angeles, New York, maybe Texas as a whole, California as a whole, the New York area as a whole, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Minnesota, like St. Paul, Minneapolis, whatever. Those would probably be the only other ones that I can see sustaining. Maybe there's a couple other hubs that I'm forgetting about that are probably just a little small, like maybe Baltimore. I can't really think of anybody else. I think those areas that I just kind of said would be the only places that would be able to sustain because they got millions upon millions of people that would be able to just travel right there. Especially if you're going to have many travel restrictions that are happening, you know. So it's not going to get easy. It's not going to get easy for the teams. And, you know, there's only so much that we can do. There's only so much that we can do. So all these trades and all these drafts and stuff like that, they will happen with thoughts that we are going to do our damn best. We're going to get back to work by, say, August, September. We'll finish off these seasons. We'll have a Stanley Cup winner and NBA champion. We'll have like 2 weeks off. We'll get a whole new season going on. And who knows? Maybe we'll just have to switch up a couple of things. But until then, I will keep you updated. We're not going to have any cards yet. I figured let's have cards opening and stuff like that. One, when there's a little bit of money going in the economy, I think it would kind of be rude to just waste money on cards right now when people don't even necessarily have money to spend on food and all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to keep our package that we have right now. And we still have the draw. So remember, you can go back at any time, even if it's, you know, one day before the draw, you can share all these fucking videos and get as many different entries into it. And yeah, so follow me on Twitter at Andrew Faubert, Andrew_Faubert, or look for North Sports. You'll see me retweeting a lot of news basically as soon as I see them. I've seen a few of you actually start following me. A couple people actually outside of my friends list have started following me on Twitter, so you've started to see this video, so I appreciate that. To the rest of you, thank you again. Stay tuned for another one here in a couple of weeks. We're actually going to try and get a couple of my friends on. I'll see how the hell I can actually do that on this thing. I don't know how. But I'm going to try to get a couple of friends on so we can actually go back and forth on this, go over a couple of theories and actually have a couple of debates and have a little bit of fun on this off season for the best that we can here at North Sports. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Do the best that you can. Stay distant, stay warm, stay healthy, and stay alive. And, you know, start rewatching stuff because really there's nothing out there. So all blessed. Have a great one. Talk to you soon.